Okay. Your underlying energy is the Two of Wands. Making a decision about where you want to go in your life. Honestly, making that conscious decision about where your passions lie. So, all right. Y'all, this is interesting, and it has a lot to do with whatever was lost in the past, right? Some things that you may have some, missed opportunities, some regrets, or, grieving of some loss in the past, but there's still a relationship here. And I think it's making a decision about what to do about it, where to go, where you're going to put your focus and your efforts toward in regards to this relationship. All right. For those of you that are single, this is about how to pursue and go about, gaining a love life despite what was lost and what you've lost so painfully in the past. Okay. Now, for your current situation, you guys have the Seven of Swords. Either you guys may not be addressing the situation head on. It could be very difficult to handle for some of you, or this is just you guys are not being very honest with yourselves. You may be running away from yourselves, not being truthful about yourself, about your truth. For some of you guys, this could also be that you guys are taking a risk at this time. You guys are taking a risk in your love lives, doing something that's completely outside of your comfort zone. So this, those are two things that could be totally going on. Either you guys are not being honest with yourselves, you're not, seeing the situation, or you're avoiding the situation altogether, or there's three, actually, my bad. Three situations is that you guys are taking a risk right now. You guys are going for it. You're making some moves. You're being very clever. Where you guys want to go, where you guys want to be, is the Page of Swords. You guys want to, honestly want to communicate truthfully and be absolutely honest and come out and, speak your truth. Now, the truth here with the Page of Swords is very blunt and it's not very tactful, because obviously, who would give a kid a sword, right? The sword in a child's hand is going to be used very recklessly and is not going to be used in a way that is efficient and gets to the, it's not going to be used very efficiently in a way that's going to, soften the blow. This is going to be used to defend themselves, to show their truth. So, yeah, someone's going to be coming and slashing and slicing and dicing and all that. But I think that's what you guys want to do. You guys want to be absolutely honest and very straightforward about what it is that you guys want. Be very honest about your truth and be very clear about it. But the thing that's keeping you guys from being from getting to this truth, to be able to communicate your truth here, is the Seven of Pentacles. So for a lot of you guys, it's all about this. You're not sure if this relationship is worth pursuing, sort of situation. You guys haven't completely committed to this situation, to this relationship. So far, y'all have 3 out of the 4 sevens in here. The only thing that you're missing here is the Seven of Wands. You don't have the Seven of Wands in here. So the reason why you guys, again, like I said before, aren't able to begin to communicate your truth and talk about your truth is because you don't know if this relationship is even worth the effort that's putting in here. Yeah, you're making the decision whether to kind of go with this relationship, to make, to go with the flow, find an avenue or a direction to make it work. Perhaps the other direction is not making it work at all. But the one thing here is to remember is that the situation or the decision actually that you make is never the wrong decision. You can always course correct and go back. But I feel like it's just there's a lack of commitment here in the relationship where you just you're not feeling very, you don't feel like there's a lot to commit to because there's so much work that needs to be done. And I feel like maybe you guys are putting in so much work in a relationship already that you're not seeing the rewards. So it's kind of that apprehension right there is kind of really hard to really want to get to, it's really hard to get you to where you want to be, which is this Page of Swords, to be absolutely honest and straightforward. Either way, you want to be sure that whatever you're going to be putting your heart and soul into, there's going to be something to fall back on. There's going to be this this foundation. But you're working so hard on the foundation, and you don't see the results. You don't see the rewards from it. So why would you? Why would you feel comfortable coming out? Why would you feel comfortable saying something? Perhaps that's why you're not. Probably that's why the Seven of Swords is there. Or perhaps you are taking a risk, or you're doing something very cleverly, or something. Or you're going out of your way to do something. But there's something keeping you from being able to be just straight up, something about this Page of Swords. I really honestly think that, somebody around you could be also lying to you. I don't think it's just not you just not being honest with yourself. I think honestly there could be someone else that's not being honest. I think honestly there's somebody that could be also around you right now that's not being honest with you, not being straight up, avoiding problems and kind of being evasive. Like the Seven of Swords can be very escapist in itself, right? They kind of get out of a situation and try to like get the hell, get out of Dodge, because things can be a little bit, scary. So for someone else, this could be them, right? They could be like having a hard time taking things seriously, so they try to avoid it at all costs when they need to be communicating with you. But then it just kind of compromises the integrity of the relationship. Is this relationship worth pursuing if you're not even going to be honest with this person, right? If this person's not going to be honest with you. So that could be the situation in that sense right there. And the reason why you're not really having these second thoughts, these doubts, not really sure if this relationship is worth pursuing, worth the hard work that you need to put into it, is because things are not very clear. Things are just so confusing right now. I think the situation's showing up in a very smoke and mirrors kind of way. Things are nice and great on the surface, but then at the same time, when you look down and you really kind of see what's going on, you're like, I don't know. Like, there's just so much going on. I feel like there's just a lot of fantasy going on. And honestly, there could be this situation could be that you don't really know what your heart's desire is right now. This whole thing is all about making a decision, right? The underlying energy is about where you're going to go, what decisions you're going to have to make. Well, it has a lot to do with what your heart's desire is. And if you don't know what it is, you're going to have a hard time finding, this commitment. What do you want out of this relationship, and can you get it? Honestly, like, can you truly honestly get it? And do you want to take the risk and do it, or no? And that's what's going to make this Page of Swords situation a lot easier to deal with, I think. So your best path to follow is the Ten of Swords. So recognize that the worst is over. It can't get any worse than this, guys. So this is a good sign in itself. So right now is to figure out the best way to recover. That is pretty much the big sign here. Is like, what can you do to recover from the situation? And I feel like right now, there's a lot of sword stab there, and there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff to clean up. Again, that's why the Seven of Pentacles is there. It's like, okay, there is a lot to do, a lot to work with, and I've worked already so hard, and there's still no rewards for it. So what am I going to do to get some benefits out of this? Well, you kind of have to just see what's all there. Everything's laid out on the table. Bam, there's your food. But is it something that you want to do? Can you see that there is the potential to really work on this? Can you see that there is a potential for recovery? If not, then there it is. That decision for you can be a little bit more easier to kind of make. But if it can, right, then it can be very difficult, because again, you don't know everything that you put your heart and soul into is still, you still haven't gotten the rewards. It's a very difficult decision, but there's a lot to recover here. So I feel like right now the focus should be on recovering from the devastation, recovering from something that happened. Things are on the table, right? So just work on what you've got, right? Try to get back on your feet, because when you do that, I feel like you'll be in a more clear-headed space and not kind of looking at all this, and be able to make the right decision for yourself here. You got a lot of major stuff going on. When 3 sevens come up, that's a very big change. That's divine timing. So, in your feelings, you guys have the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is indicating here that y'all feel like, you guys are pretty, you guys are retracted. You're going through some healing right now. I think there is this, I feel like there is this need, or this, you guys feel like you guys do need to take a rest, or you're taking a rest now, or you may need this time to reflect, to heal from this situation. And that is definitely high five in this this Ten of Swords here. What do you guys need to heal from? And allow yourself that time and compassion to heal right now. And, don't make any seriously, big decisions right now, especially when you don't really have the whole story. You can't really see everything, because you're still recovering from something that happened before. So yeah, you guys are healing right now. So it makes sense to just completely heal, recover from this Ten of Swords situation, and then make your decision about what you want to do with this relationship. Because at least you gave the opportunity for things to shape up. I feel like right now everything's not shaped up right now, at least not even given the time to. So making the decision, it may be hard because nothing is really stable. Nothing has any solid ground at this time. No offer here is going to be really concrete because there's nothing, it's not given enough time to really work on getting it concrete. So with your hopes and fears, you guys have the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like you guys do want to put your heart and soul into something. You really want to focus on the problem, but at the same time, it's another thing where you have to really work on. It's the Seven of Pentacles all over again, right? You're just kind of like, okay, I know what I need to do to make this relationship work. I know what I want out of this relationship. Am I willing to work for it? That is the biggest question, Libra. And that's one of the questions I can't answer for you, because if this relationship ain't working for you, you know what I'm saying? It ain't working for you. Again, no decision is the wrong decision. It's whatever your decision is, whatever you feel is good for you, that is the best decision for you. So yeah, the hardest decision right here, the hardest, the hopes and fears is working so hard and really focusing on it and not sure if you're going to be getting the rewards back. But I feel like you do want to focus on the problem and really just get to the bottom of it and really just get it all fixed. Now, for your outcome, you guys have the Emperor, and the Emperor is very interesting here in your outcome. I feel like, because this is divine masculine energy, but it's also getting things done and really focusing on problem solutions rather than problem dwelling. And I'm not saying you guys are dwelling on the issue, but there is this this get her done kind of feeling. But I get the Emperor here for you guys. It's just it's getting it done. It's just, whatever, let's get it done. Let's just do what we need to do. So I feel like there is going to be some control taken. I think there is going to be some action being, put into your relationships. And I think there's going to be some effort really being put in right now at this moment. So, well, if you guys go ahead along with the advice here. And I know I had this upside down. This is Romance Angel, so that's what I'm going to pull for you guys first. Okay. Excuse me. I'll go ahead and pull for you guys here. All right, so your Romance Angels is, wow. This is the third sign in a row that I've gotten pay attention to the red flags. Leo got it, or I think it's actually, no, Cancer got pay attention to the red flags. You might want to check Leo again too, but I really don't, I think they did pay attention to the red flags. I don't think it was Cancer. I think, okay, Cancer, now I know Virgo got it, because I just pulled this for Virgo. You guys got paid attention to the red flags as well. That is crazy. The signs are cautioning you. Oh, so, now like I was saying to Virgo, is that the bad, red flags are not bad flags. They are just flags to see whether this relationship, something to think about, something to chew on. Now, with paying attention with red flags, this definitely can mean, like, yes, watch to see if there's unreliability. If there's some signs in a relationship that you may not like and you're not sure if you want to pursue, let that help you make their decision. But also, the red flags would also be showing commitment, showing that they're wanting to work on the relationship, showing that, yes, despite their flaws and the fuck-ups, excuse my French, they are willing to be everything and do everything they can to make the relationship work with you, right? Those are also red flags. So be sure to watch out for those red flags of commitment as well as non-commitments, things that just are like a no-go or like a turn off. So be mindful of those. I'm going to pull you guys the Wisdom of the Oracle. That was upside down as well. Okay. Very interesting that 3 signs got it in a row. I really think it was, okay, that was interesting. That was exchange or gifts, but it fell down face down, so I don't know if that was it. And exchanging gifts is all about balance. So for a lot of you guys, making sure that the dynamic in the relationship is truly balanced is what's going to help recover the relationship for you. So that way you can then make an even and fair decision for yourself and the relationship. Because I know you guys, Y'all focusing on you, what you want, of course, but you want to make sure that decision is a fair decision for you, at least for you. You know what I mean? So I get that. Excuse me. Okay, and you guys have why. Leo got this. I know that for sure. Figuring out the why. So if there's a situation that comes up, especially with the Seven of Swords there, someone not pursuing the relationship, or going towards something head first, they're evading things, either it's you or your partner, there needs to be looked at why. And the Seven of Pentacles is one of those cards too that talks about why, right? You're having to look at why you need to commit to this relationship. Why should you continue to, put your heart and soul into it when you don't see the rewards already, right? Because when you make that commitment and you finally commit to the relationship, you're going to be focusing on what you're doing rather than the rewards, because you're going to know you know that the work that you're going to put in is going to get you to where you want to be. But it's all about why. Why should you be in this relationship? Why should you continue to pursue something that looks like it's already not giving you what you want? Well, take your time to see the situation for what it truly is, right? Ask yourself those questions. And that's totally fine. Take your time with it, right? There's no rush. There's no hurry. But, be true and fair to yourself, of course, when you're making these decisions, because you don't want to feel like, okay, well, I give this person a second shot or whatever. And then you don't want to, you don't want to, be so like, what, I can't stand how the situation is, and just be impulsive. Libra, you're not like that anyway. And I know, but there's some Libras out there that can be impulsive. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. They exist. But ultimately, figuring out the why is what's going to help you make your decision right here. Help you make the decision about whether this relationship is worth pursuing or not. Despite what is going on, despite the lies, despite the smoke and mirrors. I don't think there's anybody cheating. I just think that there's something someone is not addressing. Somebody's not looking at the problem. The problem can be fixed. It's just going to take some time to recover from those problems before making the absolute decision to figure out which direction needs to be taken to fix those issues. Because those issues still, those issues may have caused a lot of grief and a lot of sadness, but there's still a relationship here.